Today we're looking at the Viper trading system. This is the one strategy. If I had to pick one, I would trade, and we're looking at dialing in on this strategy for trading right now. And I'm looking at the base version as well as 5 different options. I've laid out a spreadsheet that's easy to read. If you're a subscriber or want to subscribe, it's easy to set this up. These are the TradeStation results with slippage and commission. And here is the base version, taking long and short trades. This one actually still has really good results. We're going back 2 years on this, and you can see this has of all the options that we're looking at, the base version has the highest net profit. And so some of these other options, right here is option 1. This is long only, still good results. Here is the equity curve, option 2. This starts trading later in the day. Really nice equity curve and has a very high win rate, 73.41%. And so the fourth setup that we can look at is moving the stop loss, the profit target to $600 instead of $1,200. And this also has a nice equity curve. All of these are good strategies that could be traded live, and these are strategies, like I said, I last adjusted this strategy in 2021, and so out of sample, last couple of years, the only change I've made is to trade this on 1-minute bars instead of 5-minute bars, but it is still using the 5-minute bar to take its signal on as data 2. So this is the 5th setup. The 6th setup, so there's the base setup plus 5 options. So the 6th setup is this. Nice equity curve. This has a maximum daily losers of 2 setting on it. So these are some nice results in this Viper strategy. And if you look at the base version right here and the equity curve, you go through time periods where you go through these drawdowns. And so it can be an ideal time to start trading a strategy like this because the length, when you look at a drawdown, you look at the length as well as the depth. And the length and the depth of the drawdown are ideal for starting this strategy the last couple of years. So we've gone through a period of time where a lot of the moves are at night. Today is a prime example. The overnight, the daily point value gain today in the Nasdaq is 477 points, while the daily range is only about, I believe, 150 points, 160 points, while the daily move is almost 500 points. So let's look at all the options that all the settings that could be used to trade this. Now keep in mind I'm using $25 round turn, slippage, and commission. In these results that we just looked at, this strategy, like I said, was developed 15 plus years ago, last adjusted in 2021 for stop losses and profit targets, and then recently in the past year we've moved it down to 1-minute bars. But data 2, you can see data 2 is a 5-minute bar. So it gets its key from a 5-minute bar. And all these strategies look at the data 1 for trading. Then you have data 2 to key off of. We also look at the advancers and decliners. We look at the VIX. We look at a 4-hour chart of the Nasdaq, the tick, and it also has, we also put everything on local because we have different time zones here. So let's look at this. So these are the base default inputs, and you can see each option I've highlighted in yellow what the changes are. So in option 1, we simply turn the short trades to off in the TradeStation settings, and then in option 2 we start at 1300 instead of 1115. Yesterday we posted a video on how taking long trades after 1100 work best, but in this case, even later in the day, a lot of times we're seeing moves in the last 30 minutes. So we want to avoid as much chop as possible. So trading later in the day is also an option. And these different times could be tested. We've used 1300 in this case. And so each option is cumulative from the previous option. So option 3, we're adjusting the profit target to 600. Option 4, we're adjusting the stop loss to 1200. So we have a $600 stop loss and $1,200 profit target versus our $1,200 stop loss and $600 profit target. When you have the profit target close to the stop loss, you increase your win rate, but when you do the profit target that's further than the stop loss, you can increase your average trade profit. So option 5, you have max daily losers. You set that to 2. You set this input to true and you use 2 maximum daily losers. And since our stop loss is 600, your maximum daily loss is $1,200. So minus $1,200. The original version has, if you look at the original version, you have the maximum, use max daily entries is false. Max daily losses is false. The stop loss is 1,200. You can have 3 losing trades on a day and be down 3,600 on the day. And so the last 2 years, this drawdown is about 7K. But doing 3,600 on one day is challenging if you're trying to limit your losses for one trading system. For a portfolio group of strategies, it's not as much, but for one strategy, you want to incrementally manage that risk. And so when we take a look at this in summary, what we're seeing is that the total net profit is still highest on the default, while the highest win rate is on option 2. We still have a $1,200 stop loss and a $600 profit target, but we're taking long only trades after 1,300, and we get to a 73% win rate. These are hypothetical results. I've traded the default version live in the portfolio, but I've not traded these other options. So these are more hypothetical. And so option 5, this has the highest net profit as a percentage of drawdown. So let's look at those again. So the default 95, 975, highest total net profit taken long and short trades, 71% profitable, 122 average trade profit. This was slippage and commission. Good net profit as a percentage of drawdown, 1428. This also, let's look at the 7-year back test. Here is a screenshot of the 7-year back test. Now, this right here, I think had about a 14K drawdown at one point from equity peak to drawdown. Since this time period, it's been smoother. So this does have a higher net profit going over 7 years and more volatility back here. So that is the 7-year back test for Viper with the default inputs. Now if we click on this chart right here, let's see, or this chart, this is the second option of the third setup that could be traded off the base. It has the 73.41%, and then the last fifth option or sixth setup that could be traded has the 1754, really low drawdown, 3615, really low and contained drawdown on this the last 2 years. So and it's in a good place to start. It hasn't traded today, so looking at entering in this to trade the Viper strategy and then move forward in our trading from our current drawdown levels. The market has skyrocketed and the day trade has been less profitable because a lot of these moves we've talked about this, and it continues to happen. This pattern continues to happen where a lot of the move you see are the last 30 minutes of the day and then overnight. And so from this point, 17,400 to this point, you're up already almost 500 points from the low yesterday to the opening range today. You're up. That's a 500 point move, and then this is pretty choppy. It looks like the market's about to roll over, and now here it's moving higher. So we'll see what happens. We're seeing a lot of reversals. We're seeing a lot of gap ups that usually get more volatility, but this Viper strategy is the right strategy to trade in this type of market because it trades later in the day. It has a controlled risk mechanism in it that we've talked about. So this is the Viper 2021 trading system. I'll show you where you can get that. Go to Capstone Trading Systems. It is the Viper NQ. It is the second system down. It's also in our market portfolios. If you want to trade a portfolio setup as well, have many different options to trade. And you can also customize those inputs to trade later in the day the way we are doing in Viper. So continue to work on the current market setup and the extreme bias that we're experiencing right now in the stock index future. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.